Every trader sometime into their journey recognizes that trading successfully can be very difficult. But what a lot of traders don't actually know is that from a psychological perspective, the way we are brought up, the way we perceive the world, especially the way we perceive loss from a psychological perspective, actually puts us at a disadvantage when coming into the markets. So in this particular video, I wanted to share with you guys and girls why we are set up to fail as traders and what you can do to overcome this natural, innate ability to perceive losses in a negative light so you can stack the odds in your favor to becoming a successful trader. Now, if it's the first time checking into this channel, first and foremost, welcome. My name is Bailouni and I'm the founder of Master Your Trading Mindset, which is an education and performance coaching business. And we work with traders all around the world, helping them overcome the psychological patterns that hold them back from consistency. And we help retail traders gain funding and accomplish their trading goals. Now, if you don't already have a copy of our free Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, that's going to directly and indirectly tie into what we're discussing today. It's a tool helping hundreds of traders all around the world lower their emotional volatilities in the market and helping them gain consistency. I only get 30 copies of that tool out per week, so if you don't already have a copy, jump in the description and claim your copy right now. Now, when we talk about a psychological programming to be at a disadvantage when coming into the markets, let me explain what I mean by this. From a very early age, especially if we played a lot of sport growing up or were in any sort of competitive environment, we got programmed through conditioning to see losing as bad. And whenever we lost, we got punished. People said bad luck to us. We had to train harder. And in our mind, we learned to associate pain, negative, challenge, bad, the negative feelings towards losing. And that's just a programming that pretty much every human being has. And it's deep-seated in every human being. Now, the contradiction or the challenge when it comes to trading in the markets is that losing is an essential part of the game. Every trader recognizes that they don't actually know what's going to happen next in the market. You're simply trading an edge over 1,000 trades, a large sample space, and a large proportion of those, 40, sometimes even 50% of those trades you take can actually be losses and need to be losses in order for the overall edge to play out. So it's important to recognize this first and foremost, and then put things in place so that our natural innate programming doesn't override our ability to actually let the very edge that we've created play out to have consistent, successful, long-term results. Now, there are a few things I'd love to share on this. First and foremost, we have to have balanced and realistic expectations about what the market's actually going to give us and what each individual trade is actually going to give us. And going into any individual position, because nobody actually knows what's going to happen next, it's unrealistic to expect an outcome on that individual trade. Nobody knows what's going to happen next, so any outcome of this trade has to be a win or this trade has to go in this direction is an unrealistic expectation that we're projecting into the market, and we're leaving ourselves susceptible to being extremely disappointed or emotional as a result. And this is the very reason I put together the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool to help you become aware of what type of expectations you're going into trades with and what type of expectations are driving your behavior and your decision making in the markets. Because any outcome-based decision is going to leave us susceptible and it's going to take away from our ability to have consistent results. We need to stick towards process-based decisions, which is having a clear trading plan and executing when the market aligns with that. Now, the second thing, on top of being aware of the expectations and having balanced, realistic expectations before going into positions, the second thing that will help us be successful in the market, especially in the long run, is reprogramming our perception towards losing. Like I mentioned, we are grown up and we're almost hardwired and programmed to see losing as bad, a purely negative, bad thing that we want to avoid. And if we bring that mentality into the market, we are going to undermine our ability to be successful and consistent in the long run. because we're going to try and win all the time, which is going to mess up the very edge that we need to let play out to have consistent long-term results. In other words, we need to lose as traders, and we need to learn how to lose well and lose successfully and lose unemotionally, so we can let that very edge play out over a large sample space. And one of the wisest ways I know to do this, I share this with every single one of my performance coaching clients, I share this with all my students in the 12-week challenge, is changing our perception to what we see losing as. And it's almost about transcending our individual judgment on what losing actually is. And we can do this by stacking new associations to losing. And I encourage every single trader to do this. I run through this in detail in my Mindset Masterclass in the 12-week challenge, but it's about going into the loss, and yes, you're initially aware of all the drawbacks, how it challenged you, how it took your equity curve the wrong way and you lost money and that type of stuff. But it's now about becoming aware about how that particular loss actually benefited, served you, and helped you progress as a trader. And when I ask every trader, let's go to the most painful loss you've ever had, and let's go to that time when you were so far in a drawdown. And ironically, those are the times that had the best growth and had the catalyst for their growth as well. So it then begs the question, and you want to go and find these actual examples in your real life, but it begs the question, is losing actually bad? Because a lot of the times they're necessary to make us aware of the things that we need refined. And a lot of times it gives us that accountability and drive to continue to grow. And it actually facilitates a lot of the times the greatest shifts and trajectory shifts in our trading and in our life. So it's about changing our perception towards losing, because we need to learn how to lose well as traders to let our probability model play out so we can have consistent long-term results. And the thing that is almost a little bit disappointing to see is when traders are so infatuated or addicted or attached to winning, that actual attachment to winning undermines their ability to trade successfully in the long run. And they're so into that immediate gratifying fix of winning right now that they don't actually let their long-term edge play out. And you want to be aware of that within yourself. You want to be aware that losing is essential. I need to learn how to shift my perception towards losing, not see it as a bad thing, but see it for what it is. I need to be aware of my expectations, not have unrealistic expectations in the market and what it's going to give me, so I can let my edge play out over a long run. And also be aware that we are, in a sense, programmed to see losing as bad, so don't beat yourself up if you do that, but it's about now having that self-awareness and putting tools in place to help mitigate those and manage those particular perceptions. If you want to know more about this, the 12-week challenge is the place to be. But I hope this video was valuable. I'll see you all in the next video.